Alright, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. How are we doing today? We're back with another YouTube video. Now, bear in mind, this has been a very long time since we've made a YouTube. That's for a different video. So, what we're doing today is, obviously, we've been streaming Dune Awakening on Twitch quite a bit over the last couple of weeks. And one of the main questions we get asked all the time is, what settings do I use in-game and graphics? Now, at the minute, I am running a RTX 3070 Ti. So, we've had a few people come in saying that they've got the same graphics card, but they're struggling to work out what to put where. Now, a lot of these settings are personal preference, so personal for me. They might not work for you, but they do for me. But this is just a general idea of what you can tweak where. So yeah, like I say, a lot of people have come in, they've been asking about it, so we thought we'd chuck up a YouTube video, go over what I run so that they can probably try that and see if it works for them. But again, I can't emphasize, a lot of these are personal preference and a lot of them are depending on what sort of graphics card you're running and CPU, because this game is quite intensive in spaces on CPU and GPU. So, without further ado, let's get back into settings. So, we're going to start off with gameplay. Obviously, these... You're not really going to be touching these a lot, unless you're doing a lot of content creation where you need to remove the HUD or the vehicle interactions. So, we'll just flick through these quick. So, sprint lock, toggle. So, I have it set to shift, so I can press it, I'll sprint, I'll press it again, I'll stop. Toggle ADS, I have this turned off because I prefer to just right click and bring up my aim. A lot of people might do toggle on, I prefer toggle off. Binos, I don't know anybody that uses these, so just leave it off. Hide vehicle inputs, so basically what this does is when you get into a vehicle, you'll have a little section on the right hand side of your screen that will show you what interactions you can do. I have this turned on just because it's on as default. Hide tool input hints, I have this turned on. Again, it's by default, I don't notice any difference. Equipment lock, I turn this off. By default, I'm not bothered. Suspensor lock, I have this turned off. Again, if you turn it on, without the input, it'll mess about a little bit. Invert mouse axis, off. Personally, I don't know anyone who plays on invert. Same with controller, I play on mouse and keyboard, so controller doesn't bother me. Mouse sensitivity, I have this turned all the way down to 0.045. This is personal preference. So basically what this does is how quick you can turn. And bear in mind, I am literally doing that. And we're turning a lot. Yeah, we are turning a hell of a lot. So I have that turned all the way down to 0.45. Controller, don't play on controller, I play mouse and keyboard. Aim sensitivity, this is the same, so 0.045. So all this does is how quickly you can go from character to aiming down sights. Controller, again, don't play it. Virtual cursor sensitivity, so this is how quick cursor is if playing M&K. Camera shake, for the love of God, turn this off. Every time you make a jump, every time there's a spice explosion, every time you bump something, the camera will shake like crazy, including when you are taking damage, the camera will shake. Turn it off. Controller rumble, it's on, even though I don't use controller. Show helmet, so this is basically if you want to see your character with helmet on, or, let me go back into here, if I want it with helmet off. Some people prefer to see the character, some people don't. Again, this one's personal preference. Yeah, this one's personal preference. I prefer to have it on because it makes the armor look nice. Right, what we got? So building. So when you are building pieces, it will place it in a rotation that is relative to the way the player is facing. I have this set to this because obviously if I'm looking outside and I'm putting a building piece, it will put the outside piece on the outside. If I'm looking inside, it'll put the outside piece on the inside. So I have this set to relative to the way that I'm facing when I'm putting down the piece. What else we got now? Vehicles, disable camera auto centering. I have that turned off because there's nothing more annoying than when you are driving a buggy or a sand bike or an ornithopter and you turn and you stay there for a minute, the camera will automatically snap back to the way that you're looking. I have it turned off so it doesn't do that. I find that more of a annoyance. So mine is turned off. Air vehicles, invert controller. Some people prefer sorry. Some people prefer invert, so if you look down, you go up. If you go up, you go down. I prefer it. If I'm looking up, I'm going up. If I look down, I go down. Again, personal preference. Inverse mouse, I have it turned off. Panel lock, so basically with this, when it's on, the ornithopter will change altitude only when it descends. And descends inputs. If you turn it up, it'll stay based. I have it turned off, so if I want to go up, I can go up. If I want to go down, I can go down. Radial wheel. I mean, with the new update, we should be able to not bother with these. Because obviously, at the minute, if you're in a buggy and you're in the driver's seat, you have to hold F to go into the cut array, and then you have to hold F to go back into the driver's seat. With the new update, these are just personal preference. I wouldn't really fuss about these. Right, let's go on to display. This is all personal preference. All of it. Gamma, I have mine set to 2.4. Mainly because when it's nighttime in Dune, the game is very, very dark. Very dark. So I have mine up just a little bit more, just to make that nighttime not as bad. Some people prefer it where it's down. If it's dark, it's dark. Other people prefer it where if it's a bit lighter, it's better. Yeah, it's better. Field of view, mine's set to 100. Obviously, if you have this higher, it does have a minor impact on your CPU and GPU, because like I say, this game is very intensive depending on what card you're running. Motion blur, for the love of God, turn this off. All this will do is make you nauseous. You hit a bump, it shakes. You turn, it shakes. You aim down sight and move, it's blurry. Yeah, for the love of God, turn it off. VSync we always have off, no matter what game we're playing. What else we got? Frame rate cap. So I have mine set to 120. You can go to what your monitor is. So if you got 144, you can do up to 144. Depending on what card you've got, you can go higher. I like to have mine set at 120. Again, personal preference. Dynamic HUD. So basically what this is doing, so normally if you are in game, you can see I have the HUD all the way down the bottom of the screen. When you have dynamic HUD on, basically if I'm stood still not doing anything, that will disappear. So as you can see on the pictures, that way. When it's on, you can see everything. When it's on, everything disappears when you're inactive. When it's off, it's always on. I prefer it always on. Ultra wide support, so this is for your ultra wide window, ultra wide monitors. I don't have one of those, so mine's off. If you do, turn it on, it'll make you feel better. Use hardware cursor, so this is basically what I've got here. Show hotbar. So a lot of people, especially if they're doing content, they'll turn this off just so you can see the picture. So basically, like it says over there, you turn it off, that hotbar disappears. Turn it on, hotbar stays on. I prefer it on so I can see what I'm doing. Hide radial wheel, I have this turned off because it's just annoying to be on all the time. Invert mouse wheel, so basically if you're using mouse and keyboard, if you go scroll up, it'll go down. If you scroll down, it'll go up. I just have it set to default. Show chat bubbles, so if you are talking to someone in game, you can type into it, and if they type back, you'll see a chat bubble come up next to them. Pretty handy. Oh, yeah, pretty handy. Chat indicator, so if they are using push to talk to speak to you, you'll see a little microphone emblem next to them, just to show that they are talking. Friend indicators, I mean, it's off by default, but as soon as you join a party, you know where they are anyway. Show text chat on HUD. So basically, if I put a message into the chat box and I click enter to send it, it'll then put it on the screen. Actually, above me is like over there somewhere. Auto detect keyboard. This one should always be on anyway. I don't even know why this is a thing. Don't know why this one's even here, because if you're playing M&K, you need a keyboard anyway. But it's on anyway. It just auto detects it. Right, let's get back to the bit that people have been asking for a lot on stream. Like I say, we stream over on Twitch on a Monday and a Friday from 9:30 a.m. UK time until about 3:15 p.m. I have to work it around school hours and the wife's work. So yeah, Monday and Friday every week. It'll be first link in description below. Right, let's get on to graphic settings. Like I say, a lot of these are personal preference, but I've had a few people come in to say that they have the same graphics card as me. What do I run? Because they're having issues. Obviously, if you've got a higher end card, a 40 series or a 50 series, you can just bump everything up to high or ultra. Right, so let's get into these. So preset quality is going to be custom, because obviously we're changing some of the settings, so it's always going to be custom. If you've got a low end card, you're going to be like low, maybe push medium. Mid-range card, medium to high. High-end card, high ultra. That's the way I see it. Window mode. I always recommend you play this on full screen. I've noticed myself, if I play this on, say, windowed full screen, you seem to get a lot more stutters than you do when you're playing full screen. So I recommend full screen. And if you're playing MK, you can always Alt-Tab and go out on some different app. Resolution, this will be whatever your native monitor resolution is. I'm using a 1920 by 1080. If you've got a 1440p, then you can change it to, 1440. If you've got higher, you can change it to that. It depends what native monitor you've got. I have a 1920 by 1080, so that's why I have it set to. Upscaling quality, I have this set to high. So basically, this is used to achieve detailed imaging using fewer pixels to management's performance. If you have this, like I say, if you have a higher end card, bump this right up. I don't think you need to, especially with me running a 3070. I find high is just about right for what I want out of the game. Upscaling method, I'm running a NVIDIA graphics card, so DLSS is for me because I'm running NVIDIA. If you're running AMD or MSI, then probably SFR is going to be for you. NVIDIA graphics card, which I have, DLSS all the way. Frame generation, I have this off, mainly because I'm running a 3070 and it can't do frame generation, whereas the 50 cards can. What else we got? Override upscaling preset. This is just on by default, even though we're not running frame generation. It's weird how this is off but this is on, so just leave it on as default. Resolution scale, I have mine set to 67. Obviously, if you've got a higher card, you can push this up a bit. Originally, I think this was around about 80 for me, and I was seeing a lot of impact on the GPU, so I turned it down just a tad. The 67 seems to be the sweet card for the 3070. DLSS upscaling quality, I have this set to quality. Now, obviously, if you're like me and you like to go farm, and you like to go grind, quality is the way to go. You can do balanced, but I find it puts a bit more load on the card. If you're doing a lot of PvP, then you need performance, because you need that every little bit of edge you can get in PvP, compared to when you're just like me and you just want to go farming. I prefer quality, so we'll stick with that. Obviously, FSR is disabled because we're not running AMD or MSI. Same as Intel, off. NVIDIA Reflex is disabled, and that's mainly disabled because we're not using the frame generation. So just leave it as disabled. Right, the nitty-gritty parts. This is very, very personal preference. Very personal preference. Shadows. If you've got a higher end card, whack it all the way up. If you've got a mid-range, like myself, medium seems to be the sweet spot. As you can see just over there. Over there. Ultra is very fancy. High is very fancy. Medium looks virtually the same. There's not a lot of difference between them. So just whack it on medium. It still looks good. If you've got, like I say, if you've got a high-end card, 40 series, 50 series, smack everything on Ultra. You'll be loving life. But as for a 3070, medium is fine for me. I don't need to see every little line pixel in the game. I'm not looking for the line pixels in the game. I'm out farming aluminium or jasmium. So yeah, I have this set to medium. Virtual shadows I have turned off because this is very intensive on your VRAM. Very intensive. If it's on, it looks amazing. If it's off, it's fine. Like I say, I don't need to see every little pixel in game look perfect. For me, off is the way. And it does say recommended for GPUs with more than 10 gig of VRAM. The 3070 that I've got has got 8 gig of VRAM. So just turn it off. If you've got more than 10 and you want it to look pretty, turn it on. But for the 3070, turn it off. GUI quality. Now this one's very minimalistic, as you can see by, you know, the pictures over in the corner. Ultra looks okay. High looks okay. Medium still looks okay. I have this set to high. This is a very personal preference one. If you want it to look, immaculate, whack it up. I think high is fine. For the card I've got, for the gear I've got, high is absolutely fine. Enable lumen. So this is your lighting effects. But this is also to do with the world lighting effects. Has a massive impact on your GPU if you've got a mid-range card like myself. Massive. Turn it off. Because you'll notice that if you're going out in an ornithopter with this on and you look at the sun, you're blind. Yeah, you are legally blind. Turn it off. Freeze up that GPU like crazy. Reflections quality. Again, I have this set to high. There's not really a lot. I mean, the reflections would be alright if there was water, but you're on Arrakis and there's no water. So just set it to whatever you want. I have it set to high. It works fine for me. Like I say, if you've got the higher end cards, whack it up. You can do it. You've got the power to do it. I prefer high. Right. Quality details. Low end laptop mode off. Don't play laptop. I have desktop. Off. If you are playing on a laptop, turn it on. See how you get on with it. Limit process CPU usage experimental. Keep this off. Because it's experimental. It can go up. It can go down. It can go up. It can go down. Turn it off. You'll just stay flat. View distance. This thing is changing with the next patch. I have it set to high because obviously I do a lot of farming. I do a lot of grinding. If you're doing a lot of PvP, set this to max. Even though with the next patch, the view distance is going to be like 2 kilometers, especially for ornithopters. So this is more of a PvP focus setting. Yeah, this is more of a PvP focus setting. So if you're doing a lot of PvE stuff, just leave it on a high. Post-processing. Now, as you can see by the pictures up in the corner, look at all 4 of them and tell me the difference. There's hardly any. Yeah, there's hardly any difference. I have it set to high, it works. Effects qualities. So, this is all your effects, so like sandstorms, wind effects, bushes effects. Just leave it on high. You don't need it any higher. Texture quality. Again, look at the pictures and spot the difference. There's barely any. And your texture quality, depending where you set it, will depend how much VRAM you're going to be using on your card. I have it set to medium. There is virtually no difference between medium, high, and ultra. None. There's a couple of pixels here and there that look a little bit better. Just set it to medium. You'll thank me later. Foliage quality. This thing will tank your FPS. Because everything in the game moves. Literally, everything moves. Turn it down to low. You'll notice your FPS will go up and your GPU will love you. Just turn it off. If you want the game to look amazing and pretty, and you've got a better card, whack it up. For me, that's fine. I don't need to see a bush do that. See what I mean? For me, low. Turn it off. Audio. I have subtitles on. Show previous subtitles off. Font size is default. Obviously, audio is wherever your headphones are going. I have all my audio separated. Music volume. Turn it down. You don't need to be hearing the same song for 8 hours straight. Master volume. Obviously, this is all personal preference. All of it. Enable voice chat. Always leave it on. But make sure you got it set to push to talk. Because if you don't, well, you're going to go around talking to yourself and people are going to hear you. So always make sure that's set to push to talk. Obviously, audio devices are wherever you have them set up to. Controls, these are very generic. Keybinds, again, you will more likely change some of these depending on what you want. Me, I have a mouse that have extra side buttons. So it's like my dash is set to my side button too. And then I've got another one down here for my shield. Yeah, I've got one set to my shield as well. Yeah, there it is. Thumb button, shield. So I can just press the side button, dash, or press it to put my shield up. Toggle ADS, again, off. Binos, off. Hide imports, and I think that's about it. Like I say, the main one you need to be looking at is this. Motion blur. Turn it off. Literally, turn it off. I turn it off in every single game I play. I've never had motion blur on. But yeah, apart from that, that's about it. Like I say, we had a few people come in asking what settings I use. Because obviously they've got the same card that I've got. And they're struggling with it. So I thought I might as well do a YouTube video on the matter. And we'll see how it gets on. Yeah, like I say, so yeah, we stream Twitch Monday, Friday. Every Monday, Friday. 9:30 AM UK time. Till around about 3:15 PM. We have been doing streams where one day I'll be Dune, and then the next stream will be like World of Tanks or something like that. But Dune's actually doing really well, so at the minute we are just focusing on Dune. But yeah, like I say, I'll put the link down in the description. Hopefully this helped you. If you like the video, give it a thumbs up. If you thought it was terrible, give it a thumbs down. Let me know in the comments what you think. And hopefully we'll see you out on the sands. You lot stay awesome, stay cool. Catch you later. Bye bye.